it actually is also very important to prevent abortion. There's been so many women who've come into our centers who come in abortion-minded and are pretty set on an abortion, and then they see the baby on the screen. They see that baby on the ultrasound. They hear the heartbeat, and it helps them to have a change of heart. And so many women that I've talked to who are now volunteers, who are in their 60s, who are in their 70s, will say to me things like, if I had only known it was a baby, that it wasn't a clump of tissues, I wouldn't have chosen abortion. And 20, 30, 40 years later, these women will cry at the thought of their abortion. And they say, I would have made a different choice if I had seen my child on the ultrasound, if I knew it wasn't just a blob of tissues. That ultrasound is important because, again, there's so many women who live with the regret, and then they deal with post-traumatic stress from it. They deal with depression. They deal with substance abuse issues, and it's going to impact our whole state if this goes into effect.
And the other reason that ultrasound is important is that just using last menstrual period is very inaccurate as far as determining gestational age. And we know that if women take the abortion pill beyond the recommended time, the risks increase. As a matter of fact, for all abortions, the later in pregnancy it's done, the greater the risk.
When someone comes to us and they are taking their pregnancy test, what we do is we do the same kind of conversation with the men that we do with the women. So we educate them on fetal development. We have a spiritual conversation with them because we are a faith-based organization. If they will consent, we'll show them abortion procedures. It is an animation video. It's not gory. It's not intended to for the shock and awe of it. And then we'll do option boxes with them. And the option boxes is really just a way for them to process, because a lot of times they come to us and they're scared. They don't know what to do. They just find out they're pregnant and they're really not sure what to do. They weren't planning this child. And so just to have a safe space for them to actually talk out loud, hear their thoughts out loud. And then if they have some reasons why they're considering an abortion, seeing if there's something that we can do to help to mitigate that. The majority of the time it's financial.
Sure.
There's been times, there's a couple actually that we just finished recording their client story, so I can talk about their story on this. But they were considering an abortion. They had been together for a while, but they were considering an abortion because the relationship just really started to get stressful whenever they found out that they were pregnant. And so they were thinking, man, I don't even know if I want to be with you anymore. And then there's this baby, and so maybe we'll just get rid of the baby and the relationship will stay intact. Well, statistically, most times when there's an abortion, the relationship ends up breaking up. And this couple actually had been together for a very long time. And so we did some relationship skills classes with them, helped him to see the ultrasound as well as this woman. And they were able to actually stay together. So they've been together for 3 years now. They're married. They actually had another child, and they have come back and said, that what you guys provided us helped us to navigate, because it helped him to learn, hey, I can be a father. I can work through this relationship. I can step up to the plate. And it helped her to be able to rely on him. Not every single couple, gets married or anything like that, but what we do provide is the fact for both people to be a part of the conversation. Because here's the thing is even if they don't stay together, we want them to be able to learn how to co-parent. So it's really important to be able to pour into the life of that father just as much as it's important to pour into the life of the mother. We have this society where we have a fatherless generation. And so we have a responsibility to be pouring into the lives of the men just as much as we do her. So if we believe that if we educate him the same way that we educate the females with the option boxes, with fetal development, with him understanding what the impacts of abortion is and having that spiritual conversation, if we educate him the same way we do with her, then he's now empowered to make a more informed decision and to influence her, because we know that the male is the biggest influence in her decision. If he tells her to terminate, that weighs very heavily on her, and so we want to make sure that he's fully educated, because a lot of the times the guy really doesn't understand nor does the girl really understand what's going to happen in an abortion. And once they realize in a dismemberment and abortion what happens and how that's going to impact her, it helps to change his point of view as well.